so what this shows is that you can use your favorite JavaScript framework and maintain all the power of Sitecore, right? All the features that you know from Sitecore personalization forms, you can all use that with your favorite front-end framework. So it's a new way of developing Sitecore. It's opening a whole new way of working with Sitecore. So the last one I quickly want to touch, and I know we're way over time, and I'm short on time, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit here, is also an Omni. So I didn't want to talk about the other ways of consuming content from Sitecore. I want to talk about the universal tracker, because it's a bit different, right? It's a scalable, service-based tracker. This is the point where you can get in your interactions or your data from any channel and store it in the experience database. So again, the universal tracker is built based on .NET Core using host. There's a session today later on by Akshay and Camrus, or is tomorrow today? Tomorrow. They'll go into more depth on how this will work, so I'll keep this very quickly. Important to know is it sits in front of the experience database. It's a web API where you can basically send all the events that happen during interaction 2. And it's built to scale, right? So if you look at the universal tracker, it's built in 3 stages. And every stage can handle super high volume of requests, which is very important for a function like this. So if we quickly look at the stages, let's say we have an interaction going on a mobile app, we'll send that interaction to the collection. The collection stage will then store it in a temporary storage. And the temporary storage will then be cleared when the interaction ends. At that point, you go into the processing stage. And the processing stage creates an opportunity for you to enrich your data. So let's say you have a JavaScript app and you only have IP information, no geo information. You can then enrich your data by doing a geo IP lookup. At the end of all this is finally stored using XConnect in the experience database. So as I said, it's a web API. So you can talk directly to it. I do encourage you to use the Universal Tracker Client SDK as an abstraction layer between your code and the Universal Tracker. But at the end, it's a portable class library. It's embedded in our Xamarin SDK, so you can use the portable class library for any solution you have. So basically, that is for innovations, right? So we talked about innovation for the backend developer and for the frontend developer and how this might change your day-to-day job, right? So moving on then to the time to market. So time to market is everything about how we can make you do your job more efficient, right? So we talked about it. So again, I picked 3 key areas that I want to touch here. Features that will help you run faster, features that will help you with your different implementations and align them better, and standardize, and another feature that will help the marketer during the day-to-day job. So going into the first one is as you all know, with Sitecore 9, we introduced a new way of installing Sitecore with the Sitecore installation framework. It's great for DevOps, it's great for IT, if you want to roll out server environments. But we've heard your feedback, right? It's not really good for a local development installation. It's not really easy to install. So with Sitecore 9.2, we'll be releasing the Sitecore Install Assistant, SIA. So SIA will basically be a graphical interface on top of SIF. So you can it still uses all the greatness of SIF with the JSON configuration and all the SIF tasks. It will only focus for this release on an XP0 single installation. We'll move in the future to add more features to it. This will make your life a lot easier to install Sitecore on a local development machine. So moving on then to the second improvement, which is Helix. So Helix has been around for a while now, and it tells you how you should do your Sitecore implementations. Recently, we did a development survey for more than 1,400 developers filled in. Hopefully, some of you did. I do want to thank you for everyone who filled in. It showed that 66% of our developers is using Helix. And more important for me personally is that people that are using Helix are more satisfied with working with Sitecore and developing with Sitecore. So also for Sitecore, it's a huge thing that we keep investing in. So with 9.2, we updated and expanded the principles, focusing more on the why and on the core of Helix. We added new products to it, like Commerce and XConnect to help you. We've heard you say that the solutions are too complex, so we're making the solution structure easier. And this is all, again, based on your request and on your feedback. So we're here to listen. Moving then on to the last one, which is for the marketers, a feature that will come to 9.2. It is the active personalization report. So personalization is great, but it can be really challenging to figure out where personalization is active at this point. If you have large solutions, marketers and your customers will struggle with handling all the customizations, figuring out where the rules are active, where personalization is happening. So not anymore with the active personalization report. So basically, this report will show you all the active personalization that you have on your page. If I quickly go to Through this, you'll see, if you click one of these active personalizations on your site, it will show a panel on the right-hand side with the current personalization. So which rule is active, where is active, how is it performing. You can click you can hover the thumbnail and you can see a screenshot how the personalization actually looks on your website. You could click on the edit button, which will bring you directly to the experience editor. So basically that is a really easy way for business users to keep track of their rules and of their personalization in any way. So again, time to market. I showed you a faster way of installing Sitecore, like working with Helix, better implementations, how your business user will work better with Sitecore and can track all the rules that they have active. So last thing we're going to focus on here, and I got 1 minute and 40 seconds left, so I'm going to be really quick on this one. Or I'm going over, we're already an hour late, so it doesn't really matter at the end. So the last one is enhancement, right? And for me, enhancement is all based on your feedback. We listen to you as a community, as a partner, as customers. We want to make Sitecore easy to work with. And we have been listening. So I quickly going to name up a few things. The first thing I want to share is at 9.2 we shared over 220 customer requests and fixes. And we added 150 customer requests to the product. We've been optimizing things that has been a struggle for a long time. Link database. We added abstraction, right, to make Sitecore easier to test with jobs and schedules. Configuration for SSL offloading. More than another 80 issues has been solved around different things. Content search, publishing, index, caching. So we're really invested in fixing these issues that are bothering you. And I also added a few highlights here that we want to share. One thing that will be coming with 9.2 is experience database data purging. It comes from a different need. It's something that has been requested a lot of times. But with the current market and our customers and all the things that are happening in Europe with GDPR, right? We need to give our customers more control and our developers more control on the contact data. So with this API, we'll provide you hands-on control on the contact data, so you can purge your data and create code that matches your business uses for your customers, and make sure they're compliant with law and regulations like in Europe with GDPR or any other laws you have in different countries. The second one is also an obvious one. It's the robot detection. It has been a pain point for a very, very long time, right? And we're getting more and more robots, they're getting smarter and smarter. So how do we handle those? We're using the 51 degrees database to identify robots. And then if we identify new robots, you can add them to your database without restarting the servers. An important one is also the personalization rule that we're still kicking off with robots, which we're using CPU cycles, which becomes more and more important if you host in Azure, right? You want to cut down that spend. So we've fixed more than 30 personalization rules with 9.2 that were kicked off by bots. The next one, Yamo Serialization. So if you ever had the pain of doing a difference between two Sitecore items, it has been really painful. We serialize 2 items currently, and you want to compare it, it's really hard. With the introduction of the YAML framework, it will make life a lot easier. It's a readable format, and you can do a difference between the 2 items much easier. And I am aware I'm rushing it, so I'll share the slides later on so you can read it all. I'll write a few blog posts with more details in the upcoming weeks and months towards the release. So next one, search. I don't want to spend too much time. The only thing I want to highlight is Solar, right? Like I hope every one of you is using Solar because we're deprecating Lucene. So we're making that absolute in 9.2. So it will give you compiler warnings. More important that I want to tell you here is with the upcoming releases after 9.2, so let's say 9.3 comes out, we'll be removing legacy code. So your compiler warnings will become compiler errors if you upgrade to the next version, 9.3. So please start fixing those compiler warnings, right? Remove obsolete code and make sure you're compliant to upgrades towards the future. So the final enhancement then is the universal, or is the tracker in general. The tracker is very important. It stores all the interactions. It needs to perform well. So we did things like batching the requests. We introduced more control about how sessions are handled. So there's all kinds of, again, performance improvements in this critical piece of the product that it is for Sitecore. So that brings us again to the end, right? Here is enhancement for me is COM4. So it's all based on your feedback. And I do want to tell you that we have people here again that want to hear your feedback. So there's 3 services Support services expert here. I even note down their expertise here. So if you guys can please stand up. We got Artem and Alexander there that does commerce, and also Maxim is here who knows it all. So if you have any questions, remarks, issues with Sitecore, find them, tell them, share them. We want to make our product better. We want to make it easy to work with Sitecore. Same for my team. Please stand up. I got Rob Earlham here, who is the evangelist in commerce, and Anastasia Flynn, you already seen her, JSS. So any input you have on JSS, any input you have on commerce, find them. Anything you want to know on Sitecore General, find me. We're here to talk to you. We're not here only to present and then disappear. We'll be here the full 2 days and available for you to talk to. Now I'm really wrapping it up. I am way over time, so that's all good. So we had these 3 pillars, and I do want to wrap it up. And 9.2 is on its way. It will be released this quarter, and it will be a really, really good release. So I focused on the hidden bits, not the marketing features. It will have much more content. We'll share much more. We'll write as a team, we'll write blog posts, we'll share more content with you. We'll make sure that you guys are ready when 9.2 hits general availability. But for me, again, I want to recap on one thing. If you look at these 3 pillars, it's enhancement, right? It's enhancement which is most important to me. Because enhancements strengthen our foundation. It's what we do as Sitecore, right? And at the end, that's the foundation where we build our future on, for example, with microservices and anything else. And we need to have a strong foundation. Because a strong foundation is key, right, for a quicker time to market. If it's easy to work with Sitecore, you can do your job more efficient, it's a quicker time to market, which will then free up your time to work on innovations. Innovations that will add value to your shared customers and make your job more fun. So the only thing I want to say is a great release is coming. We'll share more information. I can't wait to read all your blog posts and videos and anything that you're going to do with 9.2. And see how you're going to innovate based on the upcoming release. All right, thank you.